Good afternoon, students. This is Professor Estrada with your Week 5 audio lecture. This has been taking me a while to upload, so I hope that I can do it possibly later today, which is Monday, November 17th, or Tuesday, November 18th, so that way you can have it for the week. So I'm already on the home page. Notice the left side tab will always have announcements, recap, whatever you would need for the course, and then going into the content button or the content tab, it'll open up to the week 5 folder. We're already in the week 5 part 1 or day 1 folder. So let me go ahead and open that up for us. It should already be open because I opened it early last week, but let's go ahead and open this up so that way you can see what's in the week 5 part 1 folder. It says that you are going to be uploading a writing checklist for Essay 2. For this assignment, you will be answering questions and statements as you reflect just on a working draft for Essay 2. Essay 2 is never final until it's submitted, so even with that, there's ways for you to revise and edit and review before it's even turned in. It's almost similar to what a peer review would be in person or online. And then we also have right here to continue using the TED Talk MLA Cited Guide. This is extremely helpful whenever you need to know how to cite a TED Talk because you're working on your rhetorical analysis essay right now, on how to cite it within the text and then in the MLA itself. There's no weekly lecture slide for the week 5 part 1 folder. It just says that this writing checklist assessment is due on Sunday, November 23rd. And then it says, while it may say on the home page, and just for good measure, I'm just talking about right here, if they ever say a date and you go in and wonder why you may be counted late, it's because you always have to refer to the day that's posted on the assignment itself or the Sunday or Monday due date, depending on which class you have. But I allow you to turn in stuff late with the understanding that each day late is 25 points off. So let's go ahead and look at these two things. I'm going to go out of order right here, but the TED Talk citation guide is simply how you would write it within the essay. So after you are quoting what someone says from the TED Talk, you follow with an in-text citation, which is their last name, and a timestamp. It's just whenever it is said at the minute mark, 2-minute mark, what have you. This indicates that within the video, whenever I go to that video, and that time, the quote is said. But because we also have it from the TED Talk website itself and or YouTube, these are really good features on which one you would cite for your Works Cited page. And with this essay, just as a reminder, you're only citing one source. Now let's go into this assignment instructions so that way you have it. I'm going to go ahead and look at the assignment as the instructor. And it just simply says for this assignment, you will be answering and reflecting on these statements. Step 1. One of these documents below you will need to copy it, recreate your own, and submit it. A working document is needed, and then make sure that it is submitted by Sunday, November 23rd. So total documents for this, if you can, a working draft, wherever you find yourself, and the completed checklist assessment for essay number 2. It can be wherever you find yourself, but it's also really good for you to kind of consider the idea that, is my assessment ready? Is my essay ready? So I'm opening it up, and this is what it should look like. So you are going to have to download this on your own, whether using the doc, I made it as a doc, or a PDF, and recreate it or just edit it on there and upload it. If you have trouble uploading up until this point, feel free to reach out to let me know, as we can always find another way to upload it. But these are really good questions for you in regard to where your essay is at that time. And the directions simply say to look at the latest version of your draft and just simply answer yes or no, unless it specifies differently. This assignment may also require you to submit a version of your essay along with it. So it's just simply saying to answer in the form of yes or no, look at your body paragraphs, look at your introduction, look at your conclusion, and overall look at these things and just say yes or no. Okay. Fairly short for that folder. And then we're going to go into the week 5 part 2 folder. If you're looking at this, sometimes the other weeks may be hidden until I have to open them. So this is the week 5 part 2 folder. This is what's in the week 5 part 2 folder: the lecture slides, the cited guide again, and then a journal as you reflect continuously with a draft of Essay 2. And then this holds a week 5 due date, which is Sunday, November 23rd. It just says that after each day late, I deduct points, with the last day being Thursday, November 27th. Okay. While this is this week, which is week 5, be on the lookout, as if I may be changing due dates around just for the benefit of the course. So let's go into the 3 things that are in this folder. I'm going to go ahead and move this so that it's already in its right position. So the lecture slides, the TED Talk, we've already looked at that from the previous folder, and the peer review journal for Essay 2. So these are the lecture slides for week 5, part 2. It says objectives for week 5, part 2. It tells you a little bit of reminders. It tells you what's in the folder for week 5, part 1. And then an assignment can still be submitted late. Just after 4 days, it's a 0. What's in the folder, what you see right now, word for word. It also tells you office hours and conference times. As we wind down for the rest of the semester, be sure to know that I'm available for you. My in-person office hours are from 9 to 12 on Mondays and Wednesdays, but that also means that if you want to do a Zoom conference during that time, if you're available, or a phone conference, feel free to reach out to me. But because you're also online, you're more than welcome to reach out to me on days or hours that are not listed. So let's just say hypothetically that the only time that you can talk to me within a possible range would be like Tuesday at 4 o'clock when you barely get off of work, but you have a question that you would just prefer to do that via video conference, feel free to reach out. Just let me know, because I also teach many in-person classes. And then we continue on. So these are also similar slides for what you saw with essay number 1, which is summary response. It's just going over a review of what peer review is. And because you are still looking at a peer review of essay 2, it's just really good formality to go back and remind yourself of what peer review is. It's taking time with each paragraph, if you're the one reading it or if it's someone else's, understanding that collaboration, revision, proofreading is essential. And these are similar slides. These are all the same slides from the peer review of Essay 1. They just tell you to go back and thoroughly look at these. These would be essentially helpful also whenever you would do a collab online or in person with other people. Okay. And then it just says on a final note that essay number 2, which is your TED Talk rhetorical analysis essay, is due Monday, November 24th at 11 p.m. So this one, essay 2, is due on a Monday. Failure to not turn in on this day will result in so many points off. This is an essay that will be turned in the week 6 part 1 folder. This is where you'll find the submission for it. It has to be turned in within that folder. It will be able to have a late pass. I'll just send that out Sunday, November 20. Actually, I'll send that out Monday, November 24th, early that morning instead of that Sunday. I'll send it out early November 24th, so that way you have plenty of time to know if you need a late pass or not, and then the late pass window closes at 10 p.m. on the day that it's due. It does require a works cited page, so failure to not have one will deem the essay unacceptable and a grade of 0 will be given. And then looking at our week 5 part 2 folder, we have the TED Talk cited guide again. Just a review of how it should and ought to look like cited within the essay and the works cited page. And also our peer review journal number 2. Peer review journal for essay number 2 is simply a continuous journal that elaborates on peer review for yourself as you did with essay number 1. And it says that you don't have to upload a draft or attach one. It's just asking you to answer these questions. And because these questions are also even tailored for the rhetorical analysis, make sure that you answer these complete questions or short phrases or a yes or no format, however is needed. Some of these are really good. One of the things that I will say is question number 8 asks you to take away some common basic conjunction words that often appear in essays like, and, so, but, because, very, a lot, really. Notice how many times that you use these words, whether it's just common or it's just useful for you and you don't even realize it. But try to see if you can take away those words, but also the word said. When we say the author said, how many times can we say that without it becoming repetitive? So in another way, what's another word that you can use instead of said? The writer, the reader, the author, the speaker contested, they argued, they demonstrated, verified, alleged. What other words are we using instead of said? And there's really good questions in here. And it just says that this peer review journal is due Sunday, November 23rd. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and start the new thread. You can just answer in the form of yes or no. So you can write 1 through 12 and then just say yes, no, 1 through 13. And you can just write out yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. You don't have to write out the question and the answer. But at this point, if you have any questions, let me know. Again, I do write out all the recaps for you, but this is for your benefit. So that way you can know what's going on in the class during that week, what is there to grade. And if I ever post out any extended due dates, maybe a couple extra days that you don't see, or even considering a Thanksgiving extra credit bonus opportunity that may be found in the announcements. But again, if you're going to click on these, just make sure that you go to the content page and review the folder or section itself, as that will always tell you what specific due date is assigned according to the syllabus. And have a great day.